Hello, everybody. Just give me a second to set up my comment section here. Come on in and say hello. There it is. All right. Woohoo! It worked today. Hello, hello. Hi, Margaret. Happy Sunday. It's a cold and snowy one here in Medicine Hat. It's been snowing for the last couple of days. Hi, Lisa. We're going to be using some penny black today. This has got some glare on it. This is the cute one. It's called Fairy Festive. And she's darling. She's actually drawn by Mo Manning. Mo Manning has some cute stuff. Love Mo Manning images. If you are not aware, hi Beth. Warm North Carolina. Yeah, sure, rub it in, why don't you? Let's see, I have a few other penny black things. This one is cute. This one is called Owl Weighs Merry. And this one is Nature's Garland. This is so pretty. I love this one because I love putting greens and stuff on some of my Christmas images. So these are some of them. So this is the card that I made the other day. I don't have the original cards. I had to print out my picture. Because we actually have a penny black blog hop, or sorry, Instagram hop. Plus, so for Instagram, if you go to Instagram, you're going to look for the Scrap and Stamp Canada for their Instagram. And you're going to look for this image, but you could start on their blog. So you can go to the website. So just type in Scrap and Stamp and go to the blog link. And that's where you start for this. And all you have to do is comment, and comment for your chance to win a $50 gift certificate. Yeah. And you'll see my card along the way. So you want to hop along and look for these images. And where did I put my other? Oh, there it is. Plus, all of the penny black product in the Scrap and Stamp store is on sale. So you can save 20% this weekend only. So as long as it's in stock and it's penny black, yeah. Are these a separate website or did I miss something? Okay, so the Facebook page that you're watching right now is Scrap and Stamp. So this is their Facebook page. So they have to their blog and start with their inspiration blog there, and it'll take you to a bunch of blogs and a bunch of Instagram posts. So you could get to see inspiration made with all the penny black products. So that's how we're tied in, Lisa, here. So this is the company's Scrap and Stamp. So based out of Vancouver. I'm using their Facebook. I work for the business. Just I don't live in Vancouver. It's the beauty of computers, right? So all of the penny black stuff that's in stock is on sale. So if you want to take advantage of some of the cute stuff that penny black does, this weekend is the weekend to buy it. Okay, so you just go to scrapandstamp.ca. So if you're in the US, great time to purchase this stuff because Canadian dollars to US dollars, yeah, you guys get a bargain. So go and shop. And this was, again, the penny black card that I made for the Instagram hop. So you see my card around. Like I said, I already sent it out to somebody. I don't even remember who I sent it out yet. Okay, so with our stuff out of the way, we are going to have some fun with some penny black and some other companies because I love to combine. Because isn't that what creativity is all about? It's not just using one company on a card because things go together, right? Okay, so we are going to start, I'm going to set this aside, and we are going to start with this fabulous stencil. This is a Hero Art stencil, 6x6, and it has these gorgeous birch trees and kind of like the slope coming out of the forest. Okay, and you can use it either way, right? Because stencils, you can flip-flop. As long as they don't have letters or numbers on them, you can flip them to whichever you like. And this one is called Birch Tree Stencil. I mean, how obvious is that? We're going to also use some Hero Hues cardstock. So this is cardstock by Hero Arts, and a variety of these colors are in the shop. So you can buy these separately. This is what's called a Hero Hues sampler pack. So what you get is you get 28 pieces. So this is basically an A2 sized piece of cardstock. So not only do you get to check out what the color is to see if you like them, but you can use these for your card bases, right? Like just for the fronts, you just have to put a card base or card panel. So this is a great way to sample out the colors. Like let's say, for instance, I love purple and, oh, like, yeah, sign me up. So I know that I really like the Hero Arts medium purple. So I'll go to the website and see where I can find the medium purple in the full sheet size. Okay, so this is a great way to try out cardstock, especially if you love to use solid cardstock colors. Okay, it's a great way to sample it out and then buy the full size. Okay, we are going to go green on green today. So we're going to use this medium green tone. And I'm going to pull in a scrap of paper. 1 second. I meant to do this before I started and I forgot. Oh. It's almost out of reach. Okay. Let's put this aside. And I love the tone-on-tone effect of things. So let me just put a few things of adhesive down just to hold my pepper. And you're going to place your stencil wherever you think is appropriate. We're going to use some low-tack tape to hold this sucker in position. This one is delicate, so you just have to be careful. And I'm going to bring in because I want a tone-on-tone look. I'm going to try, let's go eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is such a pretty color. Okay, so this is a Catherine Pooler ink, and like I've said many times before, Catherine Pooler and Distress Oxides are my favorite inks. If you're gonna invest in some inks, I would definitely try Catherine Pooler and get your refills if you can for that. Oh, and by the way, guys, so I have 2 stamp sets to give away today. They're both identical to this. This is a Hero Art stamp set called Hero Greetings Merry Christmas. So for today on the live, I will be giving away 2 of these. So make sure that you keep commenting as we roll, and you have a chance to win that plus a card from me. So, and that's just today while we're live. Okay, I don't need the trees stenciled at the bottom. We just want them peeking at the top. Okay, so this you can add, I mean, think of all the stencils that you have in your stash, right? You may have stars or stripes, candy canes, you know, I mean, we make so many fantastic stencils. Just think of all the ones that you already have at home. And this is a great way to use them in a subtle way that doesn't take away from your card. So do a tone on tone. So if you have a yellow cardstock, do like a really, really light orange or darker yellow to get your tone on tone. Now, if you don't have a color that will look good on top of your lighter color, try, believe it or not, try a Versamark. So Versamark, this is a really old one. I don't even have the original Versamark pad. This is a Dazzle. It does not dazzle anymore. I just use this to read a regular Versamark. And all it is just a clear, sticky ink. Yeah. So by using this, what it does is it absorbs into the paper wherever you apply it. And it also darkens your paper ever so slightly. Now you may have to go over it a few times before you remove that stencil with your Versamark, but it will give you a light tone-on-tone effect without having a colored ink. So if you got Versamark, you got a tone-on-tone. Hello. That's brilliant. Okay. So again, I'm just making sure that I've got enough ink on there. Good old eucalyptus. Thank God for ink, right? Okay. Let's peel off this sucker. Hello, Karen. Hi, Sandy. And you can absolutely, Sandy, that's a great way to do that. You can make your own stencil with your dies. Yeah, so if you had a tree die, you could do that. And then you could even like tape all your trees to a couple of bands of paper and lay that over top and it becomes your stencil. Absolutely. So you could do this with anything, any shape, an image. I mean, it's endless, right? Beauty of stencils. Okay, so there we go. We just have a very, very subtle tone on tone. Okay. Karen says, I just got in from shoveling my driveway and saw a mom and baby bobcat wandering down my street. Oh no, that's awesome. Where do you live, Karen? That's amazing. Okay, so we got that done. The other thing I am going to bring in is the very cool, this is my favorite thing, 6x6 Christmas text. Okay, so they're all identical as far as the text is concerned, but they're colored in a rainbow of seasonal colors. So like this is kind of like a teal-y blue, a light teal, an even softer blue, dark green, lighter medium green, dark rich red, more brighter red, more orange red, to darker pink. I love this paper because it's so subtle and makes great backdrops. And it's perfect for cards like we're doing today. So I'm going to trim down my piece because I don't think it's quite narrow enough. Snowy Calgary. Aha, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. Yes, we got a few more inches today as well, or overnight we did. This is already cut down to a 5.5 strip. And we're going to make this really easy. This card is fairly easy today. I wanted a really, really simple card. This is almost a card where you could do mass production. It would actually work. Because it would be fairly easy because you could do a whole bunch of these strips in different colors. You could do reds and greens together, but I figured we'd go tone on tone today. Okay. Now, the other fun thing I wanted to show you guys is this is A4 Luxury Glitter Cardstock, and this is by Signature Collection, and excuse me, it has 24 different pages of glitter cardstock, and this glitter cardstock rocks because it doesn't shed. So it has this light white with a very fine glitter. It has this silver one and this purple. This is the purple one that sold me on it because this is amazing. So look at this. And this is heavy duty. This is not like super thin, and this does not shed. You know how some papers actually leave glitter on your hands? This does not. You could die cut this. This would be amazing as a die cut. Like, can you imagine silver trees? Oh, sign me up. Okay, so I think this one is already pre-cut to almost 5.5. And I'll show you a trick. Instead of matting everything with another piece of full paper, so if I wanted to put silver under this, I didn't need to make a strip that was wider. All you have to do is make strips with your trimmer. So if you want a border, and of course this is just, I'm just eyeballing it, but you could definitely measure them. So I want a strip of the glitter cardstock on the top and the bottom. Don't waste your cardstock. Just make little tiny strips like this. Excuse me. I know, I could hoard this. You know, it's like jewelry for cards. Okay, I'm getting out my Barely Arts glue, which is now in the shop now. I highly recommend this glue. You do not have to buy a bottle to put the fine tip needle nozzle on it because it already comes with it. See how fine that is? I mean, literally, this is just a good old pin, right? It goes down the barrel there, so it's super fine. It makes easy for gluing all your little die cuts together. Like some of the dies that they make now are so ornate and have little baubles here and little baubles there that they have a lot of nitpicky things. So this is a great glue. And this has lasted me a long time. I've had this for years. This is the 4 ounce. I think I know Rhea brought in the 4 ounce. She might have brought in the 2 ounce, which is half the size. But this thing has lasted me forever. And I use it, and I'm not kidding you, every day. Every day. So, this bothers me. And I'm not sure if it bothers you. But if something's hanging off, even if it's just like a millimeter, I gotta trim it. I gotta trim it. So there. Ta-da! Okay. So let's go. Don't forget to comment. I've got 2 of those stamp sets to win. This would be great for just a really, really simple cards. Absolutely. We need to color this little peeper up. Okay, so I want to keep her fairly simple. We are going to fussy cut her out today. Let's pull you guys in just a little bit closer. 1 second here. Just gotta make sure I'm still on camera. Okay. Okay, hopefully the glare on this thing does not... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna tip it up. This should help. Okay, color away. So let's do her skin first. And we're going to use Copics today. And I'm going to start by dropping the base color. Okay. All the markers that I use today are also in the store. If you're Canadian, Rayo has pretty much the best price that I can find in Canada. I can't find anything cheaper. And she will order in refills for you from the company. It takes a couple of weeks, but they come in so fast that it's crazy. I can't get them out of the States for the same price because of shipping. You guys all know that shipping is the darndest. Okay, so I put down my base layer, which is an E00, and then I'm going all the way to my darkest. And as a Copic colorist, I mean, I've been doing this for 15 years, and it's taken me a long time to jump all the way to the darkest first, just because I felt like if I put too much dark down first, that I might screw up the image. But you know what? It's only paper. Just stamp it again and do it again. So E13, we're going to use the slightest little bit. And what we're doing is we're mapping out anywhere where there are going to be shadows. Do not have to know specifically where they are. Just imagine where you think they're going to be. You do not have to be perfect. You just basically want to create contours on her face. Hi, Lena. Yeah, isn't that neat? It's almost scripty, but not. And I like the fact that it has the simple font for all the corresponding pieces there. So yeah, if you'd like to win that, I will ship anywhere. So anywhere in the world. So I appreciate you guys coming and stopping and having some crafty fun with me. It's lonely here in my scrap room. I don't, my 17-year-old son, of course, does not craft, so. Hi, Teresa. Karen asks, why do you take both ends off the marker? Oh, that's a good question. So, Karen, Copic markers actually contain inside the barrel kind of like this, I can't remember what it's made out of. It might be cotton based and it might be plastic based, but which it's like a little tube. It's almost it's such a stupid silly way, but it's like a cigarette inside the barrel, and it holds all your ink, okay, inside that barrel. And I take it off because if you have this plugged up, the air can only come out one way. So it comes out the tip, right? Well, with air comes ink. It will push, okay? Sorry, I have a tickle. So if you take off the cap at the other end, you now have a space for air to go out and ink to go out. So it doesn't allow the big bloop or the big push of ink. I can better control the amount of ink coming out if this end is off. Does that kind of make sense? It just has to do with pressure. Just silly old air pressure, and the fact that it's a barrel, that it's a tube. So if you take off both ends, you have better control. It's as simple as that. Okay, I'm just accentuating and pulling and going over that darker color, because if you go over a darker color with a lighter color, that's where you mesh them together, you overlay them. So you pull that darker color out, and that's where you get nice smooth blends. Okay, we're going for second latest, and I'm trying to maintain the highlight on her nose, on the bridge of her nose. So I'm not going to go over that, but I am going to go over her entire face with E21 and a little bit where her arms are sticking out. Going all the way back to my E00, which is my base color. And I'm just going to go over her nose just a little bit, and that just helps blend all those lines together. You've learned something new. Wonderful, Karen. Yeah, that's the premise behind it, is that you get better ink control, especially if you have a new marker. If you bought like new markers, take both ends off when you color. It will save you I just spent like an hour coloring that and I just made a big bloop. Oops. Because that's not what you want. Yeah, and this I'm not sure about the other alcohol markers on the market, because Copics are the only ones I've invested over the years. I'm not sure if they're double-ended or not, but you might have the same problem if you've got a single-ended marker. So just be aware. Okay, so this is BV000, and this I am going to use just to shadow any white part. So I'm going to assume that all of her wrappings on her arms and her legs are white for the sake of ease. And I'm going to be very, very simple. Just lines wherever I think there's a shadow. I know purple sounds funny, but you got to remember that when something is white, it's not really white. I wish I had something to kind of show you. Okay, this might work. So when you're looking at a white object, so this is white here, the brightest white you might see on this surface because it's flat. Well, when you look down the sides, see you have a grayer white because the light is hitting it at a different angle. So you have to do that with your white objects too. You have to give them texture or shadow to make them look curved or fluffy, or they're not just flat white. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. So we're going to put them on the top of her socks because her dress is going to cast a shadow. Okay, we're going to put a little bit down both sides of the little cuffs. They're probably made out of ribbon, right? Because it's Christmas. So you could do that as a ribbon. Now she's got fluffies on her hat and her, what the heck would you call this? I forget. It's like her cape, right? So because it's fluffy, because see how the dots indicate that this is fluffy, and same with the lines? Well, all I'm going to do is stipple. So what you do is you just make teeny tiny dots and do big and little and medium and oblong and round and, you know, make them uneven. I'm doing that towards the bottom of those fluffy parts. It's the fluffy version of shading, if you want. Okay, so we're going to do that on her headband here, because it's not really a hat, because the top of her hair is coming out. So just try and make your dots random, in a sense that don't do them in lines. So we're going to fussy cut her out. So don't do dots that are like this. That's too organized. Do them like this. Big and little and fat and close and far and, okay, see, this is much more random than those, right? That's what you want to do. And it's okay if they overlap too. It just means that there's more shading in that area, right? Like if I do this, it just means that there's more shading in that area than down here. So that's okay. Okay, but that's how you would, or you could potentially color something that's fuzzy. Okay. All right. Get on there, little fella. Okay. Now, I want her candy cane to have green stripe, and then we will put some other, I will either do pink or red. Haven't decided yet. Okay. We're also going to color, her wings. Well, I assume that her wings are going to be see-through, right? So I'm going to add this very, very light G20 to her wings to start with. And her wings are like, there's two wings, right? There's one that's the bigger one that would go up to the top. And then she's got just a hint of her secondary wing tucked behind her dress. Okay, there's just a hint of that one right here. Okay, I'm just going to pick up my darkest tone. I'm going to leave my Y2 open, and I'm going to grab a G24. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of the G24 at the back. And of course, this just indicates that there's shadow there. And we'll do a tiny bit just along the edge of this wing. There's a tiny bit of a wing showing there, like super tiny. Okay, so that's my darkest. I'm going to bring in my medium, my G21. I'm going to go over my G24. And I'm going to flick it out. So what this does is it goes over the dark and pulls that next color, this color here, the G21, our medium tone. Just going to go down because the wings overlap here. So she would have a little bit darker color of pigment. And then go back to my G20, which is my lightest. So anytime you go over another color with a lighter color, there is potential to bleach it back or to push it back. So if you think that you've pushed too much color back, go in and add color. Copics, alcohol markers are transparent. Okay? 1 second here. All right. Oh, you know what? I forgot her tiny little snowballs on her outfit. They're so cute. I forgot to shade them a bit because I'm going to assume that they're white. Right? They're kind of frosty little pom-poms. All right. One thing I wanted to do is give her some pink cheeks. So with Copics being transparent, you can go over top. See how just a quick swipe of that R20 just gives her a little bit of a rosy cheek. And you know what? You could even do her nose because, right, she's out in the snow. So she's got a little chill on her nose. Okay. And I forgot to turn off my notifications. And if I touch my phone now, I know I'm going to screw it up. Okay. We're going to work on hair before we do her dress. We'll do her dress in the candy cane last. Again, I'm going to start with an E37. I'm just going to map out where the majority of the dark spots in her hair would be. So a lot of times, especially with curly hair, I will go right over top of the curl with the marker. Like I trace the ziggle, wiggly ziggle on it. Because that will just, eventually when we go over it with a lighter marker, it will blend that out. But it also, I know it doesn't look like much, but if you start with the dark, then it will pull it out and blend it once you go over with that next color. So I'm just going over, and I could put a little bit of darkness up around where her headband is too, just to indicate that there's more shadow underneath where that would sit, right? We can go in and color that just a little bit. Same with here. I'll go along the edge of her fluffy little headband. There we go. So simple. We'll go in with our medium tone, our E35. So again, don't forget to comment. I'm giving away 2 cards and 2 stamp sets, 2 identical ones, just like this. Great for making sentiments on the outside of your card. It'll fit great in an A2 size card. Again, I'm just going over the squiggles. I'm giving a little bit more width or more pressure this time. And I can fill in any areas a little bit that I want to give a little bit more of that color. Okay, just tracing over those ziggles. Her hair is so adorable. Just super easy. Like I'm making this really easy on myself. Okay, one more light color. I know, it's such a sweet little image, isn't it? E21, and this is the bulk of the color that you're probably going to see on the ends. So again, I'm just passing over top of those curls, and then I can really fill in that gap. There would be a lot of hair back behind there, right? There we go. You go over top. Anything that's sitting over top of that white brim. Again, I'm going to fill in all of this area here just because I think it'll look much more cohesive. Okay, I can blend it a little bit. Go over any hairs that are sticking out and stray and cute. Okay, here we go. Almost done her hair. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect because, I mean, if you look at somebody's hair, there's going to be lots of stragglers, right? So just blending that in so we have a little fuller feel. Okay, so we have a green base. What color do you guys want me to do her dress? We can go red. We could go pink. We could even go purple. What color would you guys like? And then we can figure out from there what we can put on our candy cane too. So red or dark pink, light pink. Well, Beth, you keep commenting and maybe you'll win. So purple, like give me a shade of ink to put on her dress because she needs a colored dress. Oh, Sandy says blue. Lena says red. Margaret says red or pink. Beth says purple. We got 2 votes red. Are you guys okay with a red? A red? Because that's traditional, right? That totally makes sense. All right, let me just find a red combo here. Okay. Whoa, I got flying Copics here. All right, so I think we'll go there. Okay. So for this one, we're going to start with, and this is why I left some space to doodle. Just double checking my, that's what I thought. Okay, so I'm going to start with an R46. Red is good. Awesome. Red's traditional holiday color, right? Although you could do her, even though she has a candy cane, you could do her for any winter holiday. She's kind of dressed for winter, so if you had a winter birthday. Okay, R46 is our darkest. So number 1, I'm going to go in and I'm going to go around her frills. Because I'm assuming that all of this swirly durlies is basically like tulle, you know, like you would do for a skirt, right? To build up that, the pushiness. So I don't want to go completely in there. We're going to put a dark edge, and then I am going to do this dark, but I'm going to put a little tiny bit of dark duties in here. So these are so fine that I'm just going to color right over top of them. I'm not worried about losing that detail. It's fine and it's dark. So I'm just putting some darker shades in. We're going to go up here because I'm assuming you can kind of see her little red dress up around her neck. And this is all going to be in shadow because it's tucked underneath her cute little cardigan. Okay, so we're just adding a touch wherever it's dark. So she seems to have some pleats and some tucks in her dress. And of course her pom-poms would also act, giving her a little bit of shadow, and so would that candy cane. Because it's pulled out from her body, it's in front of her. So it would cast a shadow. Okay, medium is at R29. Okay, so we're just going to go over any dark parts, anything where we put a shadow, and blend, because that's what basically all we're doing with this color. Just going to accentuate any of those folds or fun creases in her dress. Okay. The nice thing about Mo Manning images from Penny Black is that there's a lot of detail in them. So you can kind of see that her dress is probably something that would appear sparkly. So Mo, when she's, Maury is her real name, when she's drawn this image, she's indicated that it's sparkly by the way that she's got some dots in it. So it's okay, go right over top of those dots. Okay, going in with our lightest, R24. So don't forget, if you guys really like images by Mo Manning, who's one of the artists for Penny Black, this weekend is the weekend to go because everything right now is on sale. Anything Penny Black is on sale. 20% off till midnight Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So this is my lightest, and I'm gonna go right over top everything. That includes her frillies. Okay. Frilly willies. So I mean, because I'm not putting too much ink down, I can literally just swipe over everything. Okay, just getting into all her nitty gritty. Again, those, her laces that hold on her pom-poms, they're so thin that you can just go right over top of them. Dun, 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 dun. So I am going over top our medium and our darks. This just helps in the aiding of making things look smooth. Okay. There we go. I think we got everything red that was red. She's so cute. Lena, everything, just give me 2 seconds here. Hang on 1 second. Rhea's not here to do this, so just give me a second here. Okay. Copy. Paste. There. So anything that is Penny Black is in that, under that link. Okay? And they have all kinds of stuff. From stamps to dies to you name it, they got it. Okay? Let's do her candy cane. And you know what? I'm going traditional. Because I'm just going to make it easier on myself. Okay. So, thinking which is better. I think I'll go start with this one as my red. Actually, I can do this. Okay, let me show you something different. Okay. See how our lines are? You can use lines as your guidelines. You don't have to necessarily fill in the blanks. You can make your own design. So this is how you can do this. Okay, so we're going to assume that every time you see a line, we're going to put a thin red band. So there's a line. Here's a line. Here's a line. Here's another line. And you're just going to completely go around. So this mixes up what your candy cane looks like. But the reason why I would do this is, you see how a lot of the candy cane crosses across her dress? And because it's the same red that we're going to use, a lot of the candy cane is going to get lost. It's going to disappear when you color it. Because if you colored in that block, think this block would have been red, this block would have been red, it would disappear. So you can change it up. So I'm going to go in with the G21, and it's going to be a striped candy cane. So we're going to put in a green stripe, every time we have a white space. And you can do this with patterns of all kinds. Like if you had somebody that wore a shirt and the shirt was striped and you didn't want it to be striped, make it plaid. No problem, Lena. Okay, now to make this look cylindrical, and I should have done this before I've added my color, but you can also use your purple marker for this too. Now, if I was smart, I would have done this before I colored, like gone woo, just down the underside. But because I did not do that, I've got to be a little bit more careful in putting my shading in. Now, I can go over that green with this color, but I can't go over top of the red. Because what happens is it will draw the red into the tip of my marker, and then I'm caboodled. I'm going to have red kissed purple, just like there. See, I touched the red with my tip. So look, watch this. I can actually pull the red ink out into that purple. So you have to be very careful, especially with reds and dark blues. Yeah, so just be aware that you can do funny things with your markers because they do overlap. Yeah, isn't the green stripe kind of pretty? And it's different, right? And candy canes come in so many different colors and flavors nowadays. My God, I saw dill pickle ones once. Dill pickle candy canes. Can you imagine? Margaret, don't say that. I wouldn't have been that creative. No, see? And that's the fun thing too, is if you're looking for inspiration for a specific image, I'm just going to fussy cut here, guys. My biggest recommendation, if you're like, I'm lost, I don't know where to go with this image, I can't picture the colors, I'm lost. So go in and type the company name and type in the stamp name. So this would be Penny Black Fairy Festive, or even just put Penny Black Fairy if you can't remember. And Google is just going to spit out, you just choose image, right? And Google is going to spit out all kinds of cards where this is shown. Because people like to tag their artwork, okay? And quite often they'll put the name of the stamp that they're using. So if you're lost and like, I don't even know how I would color her hair, Google. It's your best friend. Or Pinterest. You can do the same thing in Pinterest. Thanks, Lena. I appreciate your comment. Or say, for instance, you're coloring an elephant and you're like, I don't even know where to put the shading. Put in, or whatever medium you're using. So I would put in Copic/elephant. And it spits out a whole variety of Copic colored elephants. And quite often, if you click the image, some artists will give you a list of the Copic colors that they've used. Pinterest is the same way. Lots of people pin stuff on Pinterest with lists of Copic markers and things like that. Or they link it back to the blog where they got the image. So if you're ever looking for inspiration, even if you have like an unlabeled stamp set, if it's a picture of a fairy, do fairy. Or cartoon fairy. That's quite often another search, is to add the word cartoon to your search. So for instance, if you had this stamp and you no longer had like the company information, just type in fairy cartoon. And quite often you will get some great ideas, especially if you're stuck for color combination. It's a great way to kind of get you started. And then you'll be like, oh, I love that color purple. I'm going to find the purple cardstock in my stash. You know, and that kind of sets you on your way. Another way to beef up your inspiration is to search for card sketches. That's another one. I personally I've worked for Split Coast Stampers for about, I think this is 8 years now, as their card sketch and one of their card sketch designers. I actually manage the team over there. And so that's a great way to get your inspiration going, is you just need a design. You got the fairy part, but what do I do with my fairy now that I've colored her? So card sketches is another great one to Google if you're looking for inspiration. And color combinations is another one. So if you're looking for a color combination, let's say that has red, so you can go, Pinterest is good for this too. Google is good too. Color combination, and put the word purple with it. And what it does is it spits a whole bunch of different groupings of color. Like it'll show you like a band of color that might have 4 colors together, and what you might put with it. So, ooh, she's cute. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a piece of cardstock here, and I'm just going to make a tiny little square. My trimmer needs a new blade. Can you tell? It's a little hairy. So I'm just going to trim that one edge down. I refuse to replace it. Okay. Let's see. I think it's almost 3. I'm just making a square here. Okay. Good old white cardstock. Is it too big? Yeah, it's too big. Good old trimmer. Yeah. All right. I'm going to cut off another. Yeah, we're going to go 3/4. 3/4. Thank goodness for trimmers. This is an amazing trimmer. Highly recommend. Okay. I just figured, I mean, you could do an oval, but you know what? Squares work because you can make them into diamonds, and diamonds are funky too. All right. So I'm going to make this easy on ourselves today, and I'm going to glue her down to our our square diamond. So let's do that. Whee! I'm an over-adheser. Okay, I know these are going to stick off, so I didn't put any glue on them. Just find her little sweet spot there. Glue her down. Because cards don't have to be busy or ornate to be cute and appreciated. Okay? So, you know what? Don't go overboard. You don't have to. I do this because I love it. So, I don't do it to make cards. I just do it because it's a passion. So, I don't care if anybody doesn't like my card. If I like it, we're good. Okay, so I want to put a little bit underneath the candy cane and her little baubles off her outfit. So if you take and you cut this, now watch. So it's sticky on one side, right? Because it's sticking in my hand. I'm going to take the backer off of it. Okay. Now, by taking the backer off of it, this will now bend so you can go around corners. Of course, this one is not going to cooperate. Okay, there. This is better. Taking the backer off. Oop. Can't press it down far enough. It'll go around the corner. Yippee! Okay. We're just going to put a little. It's almost too long. Okay. Ta-da! Thank goodness for foam tape. I love this stuff. Can never have enough. All kinds of different foam tapes out there. They have black. They have clear, which is kind of cool. Okay. Let's put this little fairy on her, in her wooded bliss here. There we go. And remember, cards don't have to have sentiments either. If it looks Christmassy, then it's a Christmas card. If you're sending it for a birthday, put happy birthday in it. It doesn't have to say happy birthday on it. put that on the inside. This card thing doesn't have to be hard, you know? You just have to enjoy it, and that's the point. So there we go. We have two little lovely ladies. I've got a hot pink lady and a green and red lady. They're so cute. Yeah, I'm always off screen because I never know where my camera is till I look up my screen. Awesome. Good. We're right on about an hour. That's great. Yeah, it looks good with the diamond, right? So on this one, I just used a die. This is a stitch die from MFT. So go through your stash and see what you have just for basic dies. Circles, ovals, squares, and rectangles. And stitching, oh, I mean, if you're going to buy any dies at all, buy regular shaped dies that have stitching on them. If they add just a little bit of, you know, that special something. Oh, the other thing I was going to do, we got to add a little tiny bit of sparkle. So this is just a clear sparkle pen. And I'm going to go over her wings. And you have to be really careful with this. I would always test it out first over top of the ink. So, for instance, I know for a fact this picks up red ink. So, be very careful if you're going over like a big swath of different colors that you don't pull a color and tint something that you don't want red. Because I know if I went over, I don't know if I have my, anyway. Okay, so here's red ink, right? The minute I go over, so this is just a Copic marker. The minute I go over this, this draws out the ink. So now it's pink. So be very, very careful. Test it first, okay? Because you want it to stay clear. Because otherwise you're going to ruin your image. Okay? So, but these are great investment. Then you don't have to, you could even do this over sentiment. So if you stamped even like this sentiment with like, let's say a green ink, but you want it to be sparkly, you can actually paint over it with one of these and it will become sparkly. Okay? So it's a great way to use large sentiments. And if you don't have embossing powder, because you don't need it. So, yes, stitching adds that little bit of whoo, which I love. So, yeah. The other thing I will recommend to you guys is, see if I can find it. I have mine. Okay, there's two. Oh, where did you go, little fella? I have my, oh, there it is. Okay. So Sakura, they have a lot of really nice pen products. They have white gel pens in 3 different sized nibs, which I highly recommend if you're looking for a white gel pen in Canada. Depends on humidity, how well they, they work. So there's a Stardust pen. Of course, I threw out my, looking for a scrap. Okay, so the Stardust pen has like a silvery, of course it's not going to work for me today. So it has a glittery silvery ink in it. I highly recommend, of course mine's not going to work for me today. Or they also have a glaze pen. Now, if you can see, I've got a tiny little piece of plastic on the end. Don't lose that. It's going to be your best friend. Okay, so I just take it off and I set it somewhere where I'm not going to forget it. And what this does is adds a clear, shiny glaze. And wow. This one is not working either. Seriously. Use your pens often. That helps. Try them on the back of your hand to get that little roller ball working, maybe. Mine is not working today. I use this for eyeballs for a lot. So if I took this and I went over, it would leave like a glossy shine, almost like you embossed it. So you can do this anywhere. Because it's a pen, you can basically draw. So you can do this on sentiments that you've stamped too. It's a great investment, like cheap. Cheap, cheap, cheap. 2 great investments when they work. Oh, apparently this one is bled. I guess I can see it at the end, so that's probably why it doesn't work. Great things to add to your holiday cards because they're really simple. So, yeah. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Give me about 2 minutes just to finish off the video. And I will post 2 winners down below in the comment section. So if you've been here today and you've left a comment, hi, Carol. I know, it depends on where you live, Carol. If you, for me, we are actually really dry here in Medicine Hat. We're actually we're actually deemed desert here, believe it or not, in Alberta. So humidity plays a big factor in these things working. And I haven't used mine in a bit, and that's probably why it's not cooperating with me today. So if you've left a comment today, I will pick 2 winners. They'll both receive cards and stamp sets from me, and all you have to do to claim your prize is just contact me, and I will try and put my personal Facebook page or answer one of your comments to say that you're a winner, and then you can just tap my name and send me a private message with your mailing address, and I'll get that out to you. I'm really good about getting my stuff out. Generally, they're all ready to pack up before dinner time. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you've learned something, or at least inspired you to do something, because Christmas is only, what was somebody saying? Let's just put it's not that far away. And we need to get our cards in the mail. So, all right. I'm signing off, and I'll see you guys again next Sunday. If there's anything that you would like to see, please drop a comment. And hi, Nora. And please drop a comment in on maybe a product that you would like to see me review over the next couple of weeks, and I'll see if I can do that for you. Awesome. Thanks so much. Well, stay warm, at least us Canadians. We'll see you guys again next Sunday. Bye.